on adapting to disruption, the CEO insights on thriving in a rapidly changing retail landscape. To moderate the session, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to please welcome back to the stage Mr. Anand Ramanathan, partner Deloitte India. Let's give him a round of applause as he joins us back on stage once again. And keep that applause going for our speakers. Sandeep Varaganti, CEO GeoMart. Let's have a round of applause to welcome sir to the stage. Rajesh Jain, Managing Director and CEO Lacoste India. And Sanjeev Rao, CEO Being Human Clothing. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and make some noise for our esteemed speakers. Mr. Ramanathan, over to you, sir.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks all of you for joining us in the morning for this session. We are very lucky to have a bunch of eminent CEOs here. And what we will do is, we broadly have about, it says half an hour, but I think we have 45 minutes. So we'll take 12 minutes per section, and then that's 36 minutes, and then about 9 minutes for question and answers, right? So that's broadly the structure of the discussion. And section A will be on understanding consumption itself. Obviously, we've seen a lot of changes in consumption, whether it's premiumization, looking at the revival in the rural economy that's happened in the last 6 months, to tier 2 and beyond, right? The next 400 cities, which are 1 lakh plus. So there's a lot of change in consumption. So we'll try and understand that. We have apparel in the group. We have electronics in the group. So there are multiple, for groceries in the group. So there are multiple categories represented. We'll try and understand how consumption is changing. The second is also to understand how have their businesses changed to keep up with these consumption trends. That's the second section. And the third section will be a future outlook in terms of the next 6 months to a year. What are some of the key business priorities for them as we go forward, right? Broadly, that's going to be the structure of the presentation. We'll quickly have a round of introductions and then we'll start the discussion. So, Rajesh, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anand. Good morning, friends. My name is Rajesh Jain. I am the Managing Director and CEO for Sports and Leisure Apparel Limited. We represent an international premium lifestyle brand named Lacoste. I hope most of you would be aware of the brand Lacoste. And today's session, if we talk about the consumer preference changing, the challenges, the future of retail, I think it's a very interesting topic. We all, I believe, will be giving different kind of perspectives for different kind of industry, different kind of categories, and I do look forward to contributing my 2 cents there. Thank you.
I'll go next. Sandeep Varaganti, part of Reliance Retail, been with Reliance for about 3 years. Prior to Reliance, I was with Amazon, so close to 15 years of e-commerce. So I'll try my best to add what I can from an e-commerce retail perspective. Thanks.
Hey, hi, good morning. My name is Sanjeev. Represent a company called Being Human. Been in the industry for 30 years now. I'm a Bangalorean, so been here, built a lot of businesses based out of Bangalore through a lot of retail houses. But coming back as a brand, in the last 2 years, we've been able to not only establish our footprint across India, but globally across about 6 countries is where we are aiming. We're there in Canada, Bangladesh, Nepal, UAE. We are coming up in Saudi and shortly in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. So yeah, interesting discussion going forward. Let's see.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandeep. And I'm Anand Ramanathan, the host for this discussion. And I am a partner with Deloitte. I lead consumer and retail for Deloitte in South Asia. So with that, we'll start the discussion. So Rajesh, what are some of the key changes in consumption that you're seeing? What are some of the key trends that you're spotting in the market? It'll be good to understand that from an apparel standpoint.
Sure. So Anand, I think we have been witnessing several changes, especially in the last 5 years or so. After pandemic, we saw that suddenly there was kind of a K-shaped recovery where premium was going up and mass or value segment was not growing. But suddenly in this year, we see, especially post Diwali last year, we said that there is almost an inverted K. Now, premium is not doing that good, but mass and value segment are growing very fast. Perhaps inflation has also been contained, and because of that, a lot of people are coming out. They did not buy during that period in the last 2 years, and now they are coming out. But this is one segment on the consumption pattern in terms of buying behavior, purely from the perspective of the categories growing. But what we also see significant changes in the consumers' preferences and also the way they consume. So if I take up the consumer preferences, and one significant change that we have been witnessing is that now there is a fusion of two distinct categories which were considered completely separate so far. So to give you an example, now fashion and sportswear, they are seen together. The rise of athleisure, similarly, let's say casual and formal, they are merging. They are becoming almost one. Another category which is rising and rising very fast in the last few years is Indian fusion, Indian and Western fusion merchandise. Now, if you look at the reasons why this is happening, and especially post-pandemic, although pandemic has been there for some time, it's been some time, but I think that has driven a lot of changes in the consumption behavior and the consumption pattern. That's why I'm talking about pandemic also. What we see is that normally the consumers now are looking for comfort. The premiumness, of course, is required. Even the mass brands that I was talking about just now, the value brands, they are also offering a lot of premiumness in their environment, the experience that they are offering. But comfort is one of the major driving factors in these changing consumer preferences. So, for example, Indian kurta. Now, we all knew that Indian kurta is a very beautiful attire for an Indian man. But now we see that Indian kurta is making comeback in a lot of new avatars. People wear it along with a denim and a sneaker, and that gives them a formal look or an informal look, and also gives them a lot of comfort. If I look at it, let's say from our brand's perspective, one category that I can say is polos. The polos that we make, that can be used for multiple occasions, and it gives a beautiful comfort to the people who are wearing it. Like say, a polo can be worn with a denim, and it gives that casual look or the smart look. If you wear let's say a blazer over a polo, it almost becomes a formal wear, and it's also allowed in a lot of offices now. Similarly, if you wear with, let's say, jogger, then it becomes a sporty kind of a, attire. So, A, that gives a lot of comfort to the person who is wearing it. B, it can be worn on multiple occasions. So, this trend that is shifting mainly because of comfort and perhaps because of multiple occasions used also is changing the consumer preferences quite a lot. On the other hand, second major change that we see is on how the consumers consume that product now. When I say how they consume it, the ease, the convenience that the consumer is looking for is extremely high now. Now, all the boxes need to be ticked. So whether it is an offline store or an online platform, consumers are looking for convenience, ease, experience. So they want a great UI and UX experience when they are buying online, when they go offline. They look for more experience in terms of comfort, in terms of maneuvering within the store, etc. Shopping is not an activity for which you have to take out time specifically. It can happen anytime, anywhere. So these shifts that are happening in consumers' behavior in terms of the product and how they consume is what we experience in the last few years.
Great. So thanks for that, Rajesh. In fact, this aspect of new categories being created, he just spoke of sportswear, but you can add sports to a lot of categories, right? Sports, nutrition, right? So there are some very new categories getting created as we speak, and that comes from changes in consumption. Sandeep, over to you now. What are some of the big ticket changes you're seeing? Anything on the Gen Alpha, millennials, anything on the younger side, which is different from how we used to consume in the past, and also tier 2 and 3, if there's some difference in how they consume.
Absolutely. I think the last half a decade, the last 5 years, right, pandemic, through pandemic and post-pandemic, I think we see a lot of change in the purchasing patterns, behaviors in the Indian consumers. So I was just reading a report a couple of days ago where it is said that the Indian e-commerce market size, right, is going to cross 200 billion in the next couple of years. It's a significant growth considering where we were a decade ago. Even before pandemic, one of the observations we've had, I've been in e-commerce, was the e-commerce penetration continued to grow at a breakneck speed, right? We thought, hey, um, offline may not grow as fast as it grew so far. Now it's going to be e-commerce's turn. But interestingly, post-pandemic, the biggest trend that we observed was that didn't happen. As soon as the lockdown was over, consumers started flocking offline stores as well. Now, because I have the vantage view of how offline industry works, being at Reliance, I know how the offline store network is evolving, and I'm also looking at what's happening online across JioMart and Ajio. The growth rates have consistently been increasing. So that's number one. So retail is here to stay. Offline and e-commerce both will grow in India. That's number one trend. Number two, what we've realized is the shopping patterns are more and more skewed, especially online, towards millennials, Gen Alpha, etc. Right? Their purchasing behaviors are very, very different. Now, I don't know if I have to blame the consumers or the organizations, but overall, what you've seen in the last 3-4 years, consumers are hooked to convenience. Convenience is the prime focus area right now, right? We were spoiled for good by an Amazon or a Flipkart, placing an order, getting a delivery in 1 day, 2 day. I'll just ask a random question to the audience here. 5 years ago, did you think you would need groceries in 10 minutes? No, right? You didn't even imagine I can place an order for groceries and get it in 10 minutes. But the likes of Zepto, Instamart, etc., they've identified a new need, a new demand which never existed, right? And when I look at the purchasing patterns, a lot of the usage of these apps are from millennials, Gen Alpha, right? I'm not Gen Alpha, I'm not a millennial, but I still use it. Now, that's a new demand that was discovered or actually invented by smart people like Zepto, Instagram, Instamart, Blinkit, etc. We are adopting, right? Amazon's, Flipkarts, and JioMarts will have to give what the consumers are expecting, right? That's the second trend I've observed. Third, and more increasingly, right, as a part of Amazon's founding team, so we were setting up stuff for Amazon in India. One of the things that we had discovered was internet penetration was low. When we were trying to get small and medium businesses to adopt Amazon and sell on Amazon, it used to be a challenge. To an extent that we used to actually work with them and tell them, hey, here's an internet dongle. There used to be something concept called as dongles, 4G dongles, 3G dongles. We would give it to them and say, hey, try it. If you like, you can subscribe for the next month, but the first month is from our side. Try this, start selling on Amazon. Same thing with consumers. We actually created something called as Amazon Lite to be able to give it on low speed, low bandwidth mobile phones, low speed internet and low RAM mobile phones. From there, now thanks to Jio again, right, the penetration is 60-70 crores of the Indian population have internet, and they also have smartphones. And that has showed the path for tier 2, tier 3 e-commerce penetration. So the growth rates in e-commerce retail, which was predominantly in the top 5-6 cities until 3-4 years ago, has now started happening in tier 2, tier 3. For JioMart, for example, because I have the data handy, 60% of our business comes from tier 2 plus cities. And that's growing faster than our growth in tier 1. So these are the couple of trends. I'll share more as we speak, but this is something I'd like to share so far.
Great. So thanks a lot, Sandeep. Sanjeev, over to you now.
Well, I'll just say 2-3 things. See, we are a Gen Z millennial brand, a fast fashion brand. So a couple of things that we are seeing changing in our business model is very simple. The most important fact today, I think 90% of people who are sitting here today, you'll relate to it. There is everything about being relevant. As long as the product is relevant to you, you're basically going for it. The moment the product is not relevant to you, you will not look at it. Which means what? Which means that there's nothing called loyalty. I mean, trust me, just think about it. There's nothing called loyalty. It's all about relevance. So relevance has replaced loyalty. Relevance of price, relevance of product, relevance of availability, relevance of ease of buying, like he just said. Who could have imagined grocery deliveries in 10 minutes? And I asked the same question. Kisko chahiye 10 minute mein chawal, aata? Yaar, I need eggs, bread, milk, all of that in 10 minutes. But look at it the other way around. It's something which has just created a new accent in the entire shopping behavior. It's like, when we had launched 30 minutes mein pizza, ya to free. So it's something like that. So the point is, the business scenario is changing very fast. What was relevant today is no longer relevant in 3 months' time. And that holds good for our business numbers also. Because today, if my board asks me that, how do you think your numbers are going to look 6 months down the line? I say, I don't know. It's a forecast. We keep doing running forecasts. Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, anybody here can tell me whether next year is going to be COVID or next year is going to be a earthquake or next year is going to be some new, nothing. So we are basically forecasting that a lot of things are going to be normal, and one of the changes that we see as a brand, the new normal that we call, is the rise of Bharat. So what has happened is, I mean, Rajesh, me, all of us have been in this industry for nearly 25 plus, 30 plus years. And we have initially seen modern retail capitalizing on the metros, mini metros and all. But right now, as Sandeep rightly said, with the penetration of technology, accessibility to, internet, today, I was just giving them an example of a small place in Maharashtra called Ichhal Karanji. I don't know how many of you all know about that place. So when you go to open a store, the people of Ichhal Karanji actually look at brands and say, hey, hello, don't think that we are a small town. We also order Armani Exchange online. We also order, a lot of exotic fruits and vegetables. And so it is changing. Bharat is changing. Consumption in Bharat is increasing. Aspirations have gone up post-pandemic, and we keep talking pandemic, because pandemic, technically, according to me, was one of those turning points in everybody's life across the globe. Just like when, computers came into everybody's life and there was a turning point there, I think pandemic has been a turning point. It's done, dusted, over. Till the next one comes or doesn't come, I don't know. But till then, the point is, what it has done is, it has actually increased the aspirations of different consumer segments. So people who were buying in, open markets, let's say they were unorganized retail, they moved into organized retail. The likes of Zudio, the likes of, Max Fashions, the likes of all of those value brands have really bumped up a lot. Why? Because a large segment of the unorganized shoppers moved into the organized value chain. What happened to the other part of the existing consumers who were buying? They bumped up to the masstige brands. The masstige consumers bumped up to the premium brand because they said, hey, look at it this way, yaar. Whether, who knows tomorrow what's going to happen. Let me experience something good. You saw rise in automobile sale, specifically luxury automobile sale. You saw travel moving up even today. You take a flight from Bombay to Goa, it costs you 14,000 rupees in an off season. What are we talking about? We are talking aspiration here. People are traveling. A family which used to take a holiday once a year is now taking 2 holidays or 3 holidays a year, right? So things are moving. Similarly, for apparel, things are moving. Value retail has suddenly garnered a lot of interest. We do not fall in value. We are somewhere a bridge between masstige and premium. As rightly said by Rajesh, the K-curve is moving a little bit the other side. And brands like us have to continuously evolve ourselves. So fashion quotient is hygiene. Delivery seamlessness is hygiene. Last mile delivery experience is hygiene. So all of that has actually become hygiene. If you don't deliver y'all yourself will not accept it. So what is that we are working on? We are now working on speed. We are now working on quality. We are now working on reach. And that's where the actual changes are going to happen going forward.
Great. So in fact, that was a good intersection into the next part of this discussion, which is around, so thanks a lot for that, Sanjeev. Rajesh, what are going to be your big priorities, right? Lacoste as a brand in the next in the short term and in the medium term, what are going to be the big priorities for Lacoste? And what are going to be your big areas of investment?
Okay, so I think I can categorize that into three big buckets. The top priority, of course, continues to remain to give a great experience to the customer, whether it is from the perspective of our products or our the way we offer, the way we sell, and the way we interact with our customers, even after sale. So that priority is the top priority, and how we handle this, I think we're very clear about this. There are three ways in which we want to take the brand and we want to continue to take the brand forward is through the convenience. Let me start with the collection first. Collection, then convenience, and then care. So if I talk about collection, we will continue to have, and which we are doing quite a lot now, is innovation. Innovation in our products, whether it is our clothing or whether it is our footwear or it is our leather goods. In all these things, new innovations are coming and the customers want that innovation. They can't continue to buy the same stuff again and again. So even when Sanjeev was talking about the loyalty, etc., we're very happy to say that in our case, our repeat customer percentage is more than 60% and it continues to remain more than 60% over a long period of time. And of course, we keep acquiring the rest of the 40% customers new who come and try our products and they stick with the brand because they like the products. That provides them a relaxed elegance, a comfort, and that will continue to remain our priority for future also. Second, I said convenience. Convenience, as we all know, that it's extremely important for today's customers, whether it is online or offline. In offline segment, we are opening now bigger and better boutiques. We have brought in the latest La Club concept into India for the interiors of our offline stores. Similarly, on online, we are upgrading. We are continuing to upgrade our website, brand.com, lacoste.in, and we continue to give more user experience, user interface in such a manner that the consumers find it very easy. And post-sale service is also very is a focus area for us. Third and the most important part these days is the customers we have experienced, they feel very positive, they feel very empowered when they know that the products that they are buying, they're coming from a responsible brand. It's coming from environmentally responsible brand, a great retailer, the great production methods. So our focus is continuing to go towards making our products more responsible. We use a lot of recycled fabric or recyclable fabric. We use a lot of organic cotton, and that brings a different customer segment, a very good feel in the customer's mind that this is a responsible brand. This trend is catching on very fast in India also, although the number currently is not very large in India, but globally it's picking up, and so is the case with India also. So these three focus areas will continue to remain our focus area for future also, which is collection, convenience, and care.
Got it. So thanks a lot for that. In fact, you'll see the report being presented later, but what we are seeing is post the pandemic, there was a lot of stress, right, in rural India, in lower income households, etc., a lot of indebtedness. Now, some of that is coming back, right? So when Rajiv spoke about care, one important aspect is also replacement buying, right? So going forward, you will see some of that kick off, and hence, if you see a lot of durable players, for example, they're building up their after-sales service in Tier 2 India, right? And they're really working on it. So the whole part of not just sale, but after sale and care, right, becomes a very important part. We've spoken a lot on convenience. and the third one was collection, right? So thanks for that. That was very useful in terms of summing up the three C's. So Sandeep, over to you now. What are going to be the big priorities for you at GeoMart, and what will be some areas of investment from a people, technology, all of these areas?
Yeah. To begin with, I think one of the key focus areas for us is to ensure that we are able to provide consistency to the shoppers, to the consumers across our formats. The way Reliance evolved is, well, Reliance Retail has been in the industry for about a decade and a half or so, right? Almost 18,000 plus stores across the country. Almost every imaginable pin code we have a store. But the transition from being predominantly offline to online, right, and ensuring the same consistency that was mastered for the last decade, trying to bring that consistency online is our focus area, right? The strategy that we've adopted is omni-channel, meaning a consumer walks into a store, the same experience is translated to when the consumer walks into a app or an online store. So the selection, the pricing, the experience should exactly be the same, whether they walk into a store or come and purchase on the app. So that's one of our focus areas. Number two is technology. Rajesh has already spoken about it, but significant investment on innovation, technology, making shopping experience, right? For a consumer, there's a couple of touch points. Like in offline, the touch point is you walk into a store, you touch and feel the product. Online, it's just the app. So how are you representing it? We are trying to invest in VR, AR, augmented reality to show, hey, if I buy this piece of furniture, how does it look in my living room, right? You upload your living room picture, and then you're able to place the product that you want to buy. From that to using machine learning, artificial intelligence to identify fraud, etc. Right? So there's a lot of investment in technology. That is number two. Number three is people, right? When I say people, again, it's across two areas. One is just people who will build an organization like GeoMart, right? That spans across business folks, product technology folks, operations folks, etc. And number two is the final touch point with the customer, which is delivery, right? How do we build our delivery fleet, which is able to delight customers, right? And it's as per the promise. We may say we want to deliver grocery within 30 minutes, but say a fashion product in a couple of days, on electronics in a couple of days, right? Whatever is the promise we are providing to the customer, are we able to meet that? So our touch point or our focus areas are across these three areas: consistency, technology, and people.
Great. So thank you for that. You've added another C to the discussion. Uh, Sanjeev, over to you now. What are going to be your big ticket priorities, and where are your big investments?
Yeah, so we are a purpose-led organization. We believe in giving back, and the giving back that we do, and we have been doing that continuously. So one of the first thing that we are actually looking forward to in the next 3 years is to increase the contribution, which means currently we work with fair trade. We work with 15,000 farmers from where we roughly, I mean, the circle of farmers that fair trade operates is roughly anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000 farmers is who our interaction is with. And we pick up cotton from them, which is the fair trade cotton, and we are producing certain capsules of our garments. That's going to increase because we believe that as we were discussing that. Farmers get a good price for that, and we eliminate the entire the middle chain and straight away bring that from farm to our shop, literally. That's going to be one major focus area. We do a lot of there's a project called Being Conscious, which is very big for us, where we do recycled PET bottles. We recycle PET bottles into the denim. The denim which I'm wearing currently has about 150 PET bottles in this. And other than that, we are also into upcycle, recycle, organic cotton. All of those exercises are going to, and those projects are going to see way larger focus going forward. Second, we are investing heavily into digital. Because we believe that while we talk about touch, feel, all of that, and I'll come to that, but investment in digitization, every aspect of your either whether it's a customer interaction or whether it is your supply chain or whether it's your merchandising tools or whether it is right at the POS level. There's going to be some heavy duty investments that we are looking at in the next 3 years, making it more again relevant to what people are moving through, because discovery is now slowly narrowing down only to your handheld devices and your laptops and wherever that you're interacting with. So that's number two. Number three is we are focusing also very heavily onto the touch and feel part of it, which is our stores. Now, earlier, we were investing into not taking too much of risk 5 years back and investing into metros and mini metros. But now our strategy for the last 2 years has been completely penetrating tier 2, tier 3, and at times some high yielding tier 4 as well. So that is where we are planning to move our stores, and we are seeing some very good signs of consumption for our brands. So technically, these are the three areas that we are looking at.
Good. So in the interest of time, the last section, we'll keep it like a rapid fire. And in fact, we'll start from you this time, Sanjeev. The immediate term, right? I mean, we've seen premiumization do well for some time now. We've seen value pick up. We are seeing urban, rural, tier 2, tier 3 demand pick up. Festival season will come soon. Despite a slowdown in monsoons, we're still seeing talk of a normal monsoon, etc. Right? So in the next 6 months, how do you see retail as a sector? And what are some of the key things that need to be done for people to take advantage of this opportunity?
See, one is that, the last I think literally 5 quarters is what we have seen retail kind of take a beating in India. Optimistically, all of us believe that the next 3 quarters is going to be looking up for all of us.
Great, good. Yeah, Sandeep? How is the immediate term looking?
No, immediate, very positive. We are looking into the festive period. So, like we all spoke about, right? There's two trends clearly showing. There is premiumization, and one thing I wanted to talk about being in the e-commerce industry is personalization. So, our focus is going to be how do we use our data analytics to do both of these things: target premiumization to the right consumer, personalization. What do they want to see? What do they want to purchase? How do they want to purchase? Offer it to consumers. So, the next 3 quarters are looking up definitely. Very aggressive outlook for us.
So I am an optimistic by nature. In fact, most retailers are optimistic about future. So I also believe that maybe this cyclical things that happens almost every 4 to 5 years, this is likely to end soon. So the premium segment will also start growing maybe in about 6 months from now, is my firm belief. It never happens that it will remain down or something, or it will remain up either. One big opportunity I would say that I see here is because the technology and the consumer preferences are changing very fast. Along with that, this is also a challenge and as well as an opportunity that we have to train ourselves, we have to train our colleagues, we have to train our manpower also to ensure that they come up to the standard, they understand that how the preferences are changing, how the technology is changing and catch up very fast. So this is an opportunity that I really see, which will result into more growth in future.
Excellent. So on that positive note, we will end the discussion. Now what we'll have is a Q&A session. So happy to take questions from the audience. There's already a hand up there. Yeah. Someone pass the mic, please.
Thank you so much for it. Was a wonderful discussion. Just a quick question to Sanjeev, because he said something about when the business dynamics are so much and it's not possible to forecast 3 to 4 months as well. So my question to Sanjeev is, what is your guiding principle to understand the consumer behavior, which is so dynamic in nature? So I like to kind of understand your thoughts on your guiding principle for that your constant focus is there both on your bottom line as well as on your top line, especially when the consumer needs are so dynamic and the behavior is so dynamic, and especially when you kind of allude to the fact that you're not able to forecast even 4 to 5 months down the line. So what are your key priorities to sustain that so that your bottom line and top line is also taken care at the same time?
Okay, I didn't get your name.
I am Raghunandan.
Raghu, have you ever gone to Ladakh?
Yes, once.
Have you ridden a motorcycle there or a car?
Yes.
Okay. So if you've gone there, did you know that at any point in time there are landslides which keep happening?
Absolutely.
Did you forecast it when you took your trip?
No.
Exactly. So what we do here, so answering your question, we all believe that we will, I mean, personally, we as leaders, we have a very optimistic forecasting method in which we forecast the business. However, keeping that in mind, we normally do not know what's going to happen. Now, for example, last couple of months, the business was not that great. I mean, I'm talking about March, April, even for the first half of May. Elections as a huge effect on the overall business. So yes, I mean, we do definitely are positive about the business going forward, and how we basically manage it is, again, COVID has taught us, we are the survivors of COVID, the businesses. So we know exactly, how to balance the whole proposition. And if that answers your question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Gentlemen, I'm terribly sorry to interrupt, but in the interest of time, if there's any more questions, we'll have to take them offline. Sorry about that.
Sure. No problem. So thanks a lot for giving us a patient hearing. It was excellent having all of you all and doing this discussion. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you to each of our speakers.